I'm Staff Sergeant Jordan Egle. I'm a recruiter with the Wisconsin Army National Guard here in Wausau, Wisconsin. When I joined the National Guard, I was out of high school for a couple years. I went to college first and tried that route. But when that eventually didn't turn out to be the right path for me, I started looking for other options in my life. And that's what brought me to the National Guard and where I'm at these days. I joined for more of the patriotic side of the house. I wanted a way to serve my country. I wasn't looking for any college benefits. And at the time, I was working as an electrician on the civilian side, which is why I joined as a 12 Romeo interior electrician. I worked with the 829th Vertical Engineer Unit up in Nashville, Wisconsin, where I deployed to Kuwait and Iraq back in 2019 to 2020 in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. I learned a lot of great lessons over there, dealing with leadership and all sorts of Army-specific things. And yeah. When I returned from deployment back in the fall of 2020, I continued working as an electrician for a few years and soon realized that I wanted to move somewhere different in life with my career and was looking in full-time opportunities with the Army, which is what led me to becoming a recruiter with the Army National Guard. It was a great option to let me stay close to home, didn't have to pick up and move my family at all, and now I get to wear the uniform every single day, which is one of the main things about the Army National Guard that I enjoy the most. When I joined the National Guard, coming in as a fresh private, you're not in much of a leadership role, right? Going overseas, I was exposed to a lot of great leaders that were above me and that really did their best to introduce me to all of the different facets of the military as a whole. Coming straight from the streets and going to the basic training AIT and then right over to the Middle East was a crazy fast transition that I wouldn't be able to actually navigate as well without the leaders that were above me, who had a lot of experience with previous deployments and leading younger soldiers like myself at the time. When I got promoted to E5 Sergeant several years ago, that was my first experience being a leader myself, and I was able to draw on a lot of those skills that I saw from my leaders that I had at the time to incorporate them into my own style of leadership. The National Guard has given me an amazing opportunity to practice my own leadership skills, and to this day is one of the things that I enjoy most about being in the Guard, especially in the role of a non-commissioned officer, is being able to guide those underneath me, especially those that are brand new to the National Guard, and try to teach them all things that I learned when I was in their shoes. The Army National Guard gives me a great opportunity to actually be a mentor to these new privates, these new soldiers that are just entering the military for the first time. Drawing from my experiences mentoring brand new privates in my unit as a young NCO and sergeant, team leader, I am able to bring those over to my role as a recruiter now. Every single day I'm dealing with brand new recruits who haven't even been to basic training yet, and now I'm the mentor for them, bringing them into the fold and trying to help them navigate this crazy life decision they're about to make when they decide to join up with the Army National Guard. One of the most rewarding and fulfilling things for me as a recruiter in the Army National Guard is being able to take these brand new recruits who maybe don't know what they want to do after high school or don't know what they want to do with the rest of their life after they move out on their own, and guiding them through this tumultuous decision to join something as large as the U.S. military, no matter what branch you're looking at. When I was young and looking to join the National Guard, I didn't know it at the time, but it was going to set me on a trajectory for an incredible career path that I never anticipated at the time, and I'm excited to be able to do that for this newer generation coming in. Some of the key attributes that I give towards a strong leader are serving those underneath you. We have this concept in the military called servant leadership, which is all about the concept of serving those underneath you. We have this perception in the public of military leaders being strong, hard-headed, and just yelling at the young privates and the people that are underneath them to do what they got to do without giving them any reason why. This is something that's changing in the military these days, and something I think is a huge positive for the Army of these days, and how I try to incorporate into my leadership style. Another big thing that defines a great leader is being able to explain the why of a mission to the soldiers underneath you. Making sure that your subordinates understand the reason why you are going out on a certain mission, or the reason why you're doing something, no matter how small or big, is paramount in inspiring the action that you need from those underneath you. The last attribute that I think is super important for a leadership, the last attribute that I think is super important for a leader is to give credit to the team when you do something right, and to take the blame for when the team makes a mistake. There are several people out in the space these days that define this concept, notably as extreme ownership, where as a leader is your responsibility to take responsibility for all the actions of your team, and to understand that as a leader it's on you to learn how you're going to fix a mistake in the future instead of passing the buck to those underneath you. I think it's important that in this country we develop strong leaders, both in the military and civilian side, because at the end of the day, everyone is going to grow up and become that mentor, that leader one day, whether they like it or not. And if we don't develop these leaders early on, they're going to be flying by the seat of their pants, and that's how we end up with what we see as toxic leadership these days, or leaders that might be guided on the wrong path and not know how to effectively handle the situation when it arises later on in life. Some of the advice that I give to someone that was in the same shoes that I was in when I joined, out of high school for a little bit, maybe they tried college and decided it wasn't for them, is to look into the Army National Guard as a way to get your life back on track. For me, when I was in that position, I was kind of lost in life and didn't really know what I wanted to do. And it was at that point that I was able to actually take that opportunity to complete my initial basic training and my AIT job training without being tied down to a job or school at the time. And so to anyone that's in that sort of position, I would highly recommend for them to at least look into serving with the Army National Guard as a way to find the discipline to get your career on track after that.